one of the strengths of the show is that it's absolutely beautifully cast. And it's got a very talented bunch of actors in it. The second thing is that it's also a very fresh concept. Many women complain about this fact, and many women have accepted this fact and just made their peace with it, And I don't think it's just Indian men. I think it's a lot of men all over the world. People see me in a certain way because of the way you look, the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you've been educated. You are perceived to be able to play that particular kind of part.
True.
And this is a thing that annoys me a great deal because I think that's bullshit. I think that you can, as an actor, you can transform, and your job is to do that. Mom is a very hardcore, strict director. I mean, she's a very tough director, and so there's always a pressure with her. I mean, it's a given. But of course, the important thing is to always keep that sort of separation.
A huge congratulations for Potluck. I love the trailer and I love the authenticity that you're bringing into the show. How has the response been so far? What are people telling you?
Well, we honestly, Aditi, from that very first meeting where we read this script the first time together as a cast and as a team, where we felt like, sometimes it happens on a project and it's not very often, it's quite rare, that from the get-go you feel like the ingredients are all just sort of coming together and falling into place. And I think all of us were too nervous to articulate that right in the beginning. But it was there right from the beginning, and to see that come to fruition and to see that sort of, now be sort of shared with you all and sent out to the world and the audiences is a wonderful feeling. It's very gratifying. I think that one of the strengths of the show is that it's absolutely beautifully cast. And it's got a very talented bunch of actors in it. The second thing is that it's also a very fresh concept in terms of looking at an urban, contemporary, modern Indian family, and looking at it for what it is. So what I mean by that is it's a very unique situation. I think the fact that, Indians today, young Indians especially, the Shastris, for example, all the three siblings of the Shastri family, the eldest of which I'm married to, Cyrus, are all independent-minded young Indians. We're very, very influenced by the West. We're trying to make our own lives. We're very individualistic. There's so much exposure nowadays. But the truth of the matter is that no matter how far we go, no matter where we are, the uniqueness of being Indian is our connection to our roots and our family. And that always keeps pulling us back, no matter how hard we try.
Exactly.
So I think to really tap into that, that particular us, which is now very today, is wonderful. So I think it's very fresh. The comedy is a huge part of it. I think that it's very refreshing because we're seeing a lot of dark stuff constantly on the OTT platforms for a while now. And I think audiences are also yearning for something a little different, a little lighter, particularly after the pandemic. I think all of us have realized the importance of our loved ones, our closest relationships, our families, even ourselves in many ways, and gone inwards a lot. So I think after the pandemic, especially, I think a show like this is like a breath of fresh air. And so we're all feeling very excited, very nervous also, but very excited also. And we hope that not only will you love the show, but you will love these characters and you'll embrace these characters. And I think 5 million views, I think it's crossed 5 million views now, the trailer.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's amazing. And hats off, I salute Rajshri, our director, and our producers, our writers, and the entire cast and the entire team. Because it wasn't easy. We shot in 3 weeks in a bio bubble. We shot all 8 episodes in 3 weeks. It was very intensive. It was very crazy. To even pull that off is a big feat, So I think everyone deserves like a big round of applause.
One interesting element of Potluck was it throws light on how parent-child relationships have evolved over time. So
wonderful.
How do you reflect on that?
So I think you've hit the nail on the head. That's a very perceptive question and a perceptive observation, because as I was saying that, Indians are very rooted in their families, very rooted in their culture. We're very connected to our families. An Indian man, it's like a pet peeve with all of us. An Indian man and his mother, their relationship is like unbreakable. you know. So many women complain about this fact, and many
Yeah.
women have accepted this fact and just made their peace with it, and I don't think it's just Indian men. I think it's a lot of men all over the world, in fact. So, but I think particularly with Indian men, and Indian families and Indian children, like I said, living today in India, which is a very exposed nation, very exposed culture, very, we have everything at our fingertips. The world is at our fingertips. I have 3-year-old nieces, and I will come to that. I don't know if you're going to ask me anything about Akanksha specifically, but one of the reasons why I wanted to do it also was that I wanted to break this idea that women cannot play mothers on screen and women should not play mothers, and a mother cannot be a working woman, and all these kind of
Yeah.
stereotypes and
True.
that exist. So that was very important to me. So I have these 3-year-old nieces, and I see them, Aditi, and I'm like terrified because they know everything.
Okay.
Everything. They're 3, so it's scary. So what today's youth and in India, I mean, are extremely modernized, in not only in their way of thinking, but in their lifestyles. Very often we try to be very independent from our families, especially in a city like Bombay. You realize how many people have left their families and come here,
Yeah.
in my industry itself, in our industry itself. So I think that it's very interesting to look at that space, which is that at the end of the day, the same things happen between parents and children, between siblings, between couples, that
Yeah.
have always been happening, no
True.
matter what the context.
Yeah.
It's the everyday struggles, it's the balancing of work life, it's the balancing of children, it's the balancing of relationships, of sort of needs, desires, of having that respect for your elders, of having that connection with your elders, and yet at some level trying to break away and have your own identity. It's always that struggle. So I think that's a very interesting space, and I think that Potluck explores that with a whole lot of humor and a
Mm-hmm.
whole lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of potluck itself is that. So a potluck means what? I mean, again, it's become more meaningful during COVID, but a potluck is a group of people bringing different elements to a table. So it's like Chinese, pasta, aloo paratha, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
You're bringing your own individuality to that table, your own
Yeah.
eccentricity to
True.
that table, your quirkiness to that table, your own personality to that table. And what happens then, because
Exactly.
everyone is fighting for their own space, fighting for their own identity. Everyone has their own dreams, desires, passions,
Yeah.
and yet you are connected. You can't help it. That's the thing about family. You
True.
don't choose your family, man. You're born with it.
Yeah.
So no matter what happens, no matter how much up and down and mess and complication and ugliness and craziness
Yeah.
there is, they're all you have.
Exactly. So, I would want to rewind a little. Throughout
Yeah.
your years in showbiz, as an actor who has explored every creative field in entertainment, be it
Yes.
cinema, theater, and television, what has been your biggest takeaway?
As an actor,
Yeah.
I think as an actor, it's a wonderful time to be an actor, number one.
Mm-hmm.
I think because of OTT and because of the web, there's an entire universe of content that has opened up. Okay,
Yeah.
which is completely removed from the quintessential big Bollywood masala film, which I'm not at all judging or dissing or
Yeah.
criticizing in any way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of us are missing the fact that we can't go to the theater and see a film on the big screen. All of us are missing that. So I think that will never really go away. But I think that there's an expansion in all directions of content in India. That's because of the digital world, of course, and that is the future. And I feel as an actor, it's a very exciting time. I think 2-3 things are happening. One is that the medium has shifted, not just from big cinema halls. So the idea of a star and a single hero-led film has shifted completely. There's more and more ensemble things. For example,
Yeah.
like Potluck, there's so many ensemble things on television today, which is more reflective of reality. It's
Yeah.
more reflective of how the real world is.
True.
Genres are expanding. Yes, we have
Yeah.
we have been very obsessed about dark and underbelly and violence and criminal stuff and all that, which is great. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, I really enjoy watching it. But I think that we need to even diversify even more, which is also happening now,
Yeah.
as with Potluck. Content is expanding in all directions, genres are expanding in all directions.
Mhm.
And the other thing is that writing has diversified and improved. Writing has always been my pet peeve with our industry. Technically,
Yeah.
we're very, very proficient. I mean, we're world class. In terms of creativity and intelligence, we're world class, not just in films, but in so many different fields, science, finance. I mean, we're all over the
Yeah.
place. It's a wonderful thing to be an Indian at this point of time in the world.
Yeah.
Let's not get into the political part of it because that will be a different interview altogether.
Yeah.
But in terms of what we've achieved as a race, I mean, wow. So I think that we're very much up there. But in terms of writing, I've always felt that writing is, we are a lazy race. We're very, very, very happy to sit and, mix and match stuff or copy something or make a remake of something and all that. And this has always been my thing, that originality in writing, and it's all connected. I don't blame anybody. I feel like, see, it's like I tell theater actors today. If 15 years ago, or in 2004, more than 15, or 20 years ago almost, or 2001, when I wanted to study acting, there was very few places to do it. There was only NSD and there was FTII, and that was about it.
True.
So today, writing is taken seriously as a profession. The more everything changes from the inside, everything starts to change from the outside.
True.
So writers who are given respect, directors and filmmakers and creators who are given respect, producers who are given respect, even women producers. I have produced my first short film during the COVID. And I've started a production house, and I want to get into production, and I want to get into direction eventually in the long run. But there is a space to do that today, Aditi. 10 years ago, I could not have done it. So I think that there is a big shift. There's a big change. There's a big opening up. And for actors specifically, I would say yes, OTT is fantastic, because even the newer generation of actors, see, as we have access to the world, we're watching content from all over the world. We're seeing the level of content that's coming our way. So audiences are also not stupid. They will want a certain quality of content. So content is improving highly, by leaps and bounds, So I think that means actors also are taking their craft that seriously. They're not fooling around. They're not obsessed about glamour and fame and stardom. They're taking their craft very, very seriously. So you will find a whole generation of new actors, who are inspired by very big stars, like even Alia, for example, or Priyanka, for example, or Anushka, for example. I'm just talking about women, but I mean men also. Them. That because I'm such a feminist. I hate that word, by the way. But I'm just saying that people, young actors who are coming into the business are very, very professional. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing. And I feel that another great thing that's happened because of OTT is that a lot of actors are getting a second lease of life. Whether they're from a television background, or whether they're from a film background, whether they're from a regional background, whether they're from a theater background, suddenly they're finding a space in the OTT world.
Yes.
Which is a beautiful thing, yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
So which role gave you the most amount of creative satisfaction, and which one was the most challenging for you?
I think on stage, there's a solo performance that I do called 9 Parts of Desire. It's a 80-minute solo piece. I play 9 different characters. And 100% that was the most challenging. I remember going to my mom with a script. I had not even turned 30. I was 29 at that time. And the characters in the play range from like 14 to like 60 something, and my friends who saw it, a lot of my friends who are now very successful filmmakers, directors, I remember them telling me that, man, you're so brave. Why would you even attempt something like this, at this time in your life? And I don't know, I feel that really pushed me as an actor and helped me showcase. See, again, my pet peeve has always been in cinema. People see me in a certain way because of the way you look, the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you've been educated. You are perceived to be able to play that particular kind of part.
True.
And this is a thing that annoys me a great deal, because I think that's bullshit. I think that you can, as an actor, you can transform, and your job is to do that. And so if someone gave you the opportunity to show that side of your talent, that would be wonderful. But you have to get those opportunities, which is why I made a short film, and which is why I'm going to start creating those opportunities for myself, hopefully. So because what else do you do? So I think that particular piece, 9 Parts of Desire, really pushed me and challenged me as an actor. I was very young, like I said. I don't know if I needed to do it. Hopefully, I will keep doing it for the next 20 years, this show. So it will change and transform and morph, and I hope you can see it one day, Aditi. And also, I feel, on a personal note, my father passed away of cancer very soon after I opened the play. And I think that it was something in the universe told me that, look, he needs to see you in something like this, before he goes. Because it really pushed my limits as an actor. So I'm very proud and happy that he's managed to see that production. And the most challenging, the most difficult, you asked me the most challenging and the best one. What did you ask me?
Yeah, the best one.
I think this was a bit of both. And I would say next, definitely the short that I have just done, because it's a very personal film. And I've produced it as well. And it's for the first time that I was producing and acting at the same time. And it was not easy. So that was probably the next one. Yeah.
So, Ira, you have a larger canvas of independent world cinema and theatre.
Yes.
Despite doing a handful of commercial cinema, as an actor, was it a conscious choice for not being so invested in it?
I genuinely feel sometimes else asked me this morning, and I genuinely feel that look, you've got to be comfortable with the choices that you've made in life. You've got to be comfortable with the fact that looking back 10 years, during these 10 years, could I have hustled more? Should I have been out there asking for work more? Should I have gone to people and said, please, I want to work with you? I don't know, Aditi. I don't know. My journey has been my journey. And I'm very much at peace with my journey. I mean, I'm a lambi race ka ghoda. I have lots of things to do in life, still,
Yeah.
and show you and give you and share with you, and as a creator and as an artistic person, as an actor, as a filmmaker. So
Yeah.
I feel that I feel that everyone's journey, I know it sounds a bit, very sort of spiritual in a way, but I can't help it. I feel that it all happened for a reason, and I'm very happy, for example, that look, life comes full circle. I don't know, I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me and told me, oh my God, Pinky and Ranveer, Pinky and Ranveer, Pinky and Ranveer from Aisha are coming
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Life comes full circle in a way. And 10 years ago, I did a film like Aisha, which was a cult film. It was an iconic film. It was a very big commercial film. It was a chick flick. India's one of the first few chick flicks in India.
Yeah.
And had such an impact. I still meet girls, on the street, in a bloody airport bathroom or wherever the hell I am, who like Pinky Bose, Pinky Bose, So obviously the film has had a huge impact, So I'm very happy about that. Dear Zindagi is a wonderful film. There's no, I mean, this area and this idea of mental health has never been tackled more beautifully than in that film.
Yes.
So I think that these are important, wonderful films that I have been part of, and I have no regrets. Of course, there's a spate of handful of films that one feels like, "Arey yaar," now looking at them, you cringe and you're like, "Why the hell did I do that?" Yes, of course. But at the end of the day, this is a job, no? You're paying your bills, you're living your life, it's your job. So sometimes you do things for various reasons, So it's okay. I have no qualms. I have no regrets. I think that, like I said, abhi bahut kuch karna hai. Bahut.
So, you are someone who's known for playing strong and bold characters. So, do you think roles written for women get a lot generalized after they reach a certain age?
I don't necessarily feel that's true. I think it's shifting. Like I said, me taking on a part like Akanksha Shastri in Potluck, which is a comedy, of course,
Yeah.
also is a sort of it's trying to say to people that look, it's a normal thing. Working mothers is a normal thing. The
True.
eldest babu of the family is a working mother. She
Mm.
gets along with her in-laws. This is another myth that I think that it's wonderful that we're trying to break with this show. That it's
Yeah.
not necessary. Of course, you have your little bit of ego difference of opinions and all that, which is natural and it's healthy to a relationship. But it doesn't have to be that you want to tear each other's eyes out.
Yeah.
So I think that this is also important, that it is changing. Very slowly, it is changing. There are very strong female characters coming into the fray now in our industry. There are cops, there are doctors, there are empowered women.
Yes.
I mean, I'm talking Delhi crime, say, Rasika's show, the one where she's a doctor. Journalists like yourself, empowered women,
Yes.
Bombay Begums. I mean, look at that show. It is
Yeah.
only about women who are very much living a life on their own terms.
Yeah.
So I think that is happening. That is happening, and we have to give more and more. It's not just about being feminist. This is a very murky area, and I don't want to sound like someone who's a man hater. I'm not a man hater. Okay, but we do live in a very patriarchal culture, and we do live in a very sexist industry. That is the truth of it. Okay, so whatever we can do to change that as women and as creators, I think it is our responsibility to keep doing that.
So now that you have made a significant mark of yourself in showbiz, are you choosy about scripts and rejecting a lot of things coming in your way to maintain
wish-
your individuality?
I wish. I'm a very private person, and there's periods of time where I'm doing things just for myself and spending time with the people I want to spend time with. I don't have many friends from the industry. I'm constantly creating something or the other. But I wish that I had an onslaught of things that I had to choose from. Aapke muh mein ghee shakar. One day, hopefully that should happen. If not as an actor, then as a producer. And reading scripts nonstop. That's what I would absolutely love to do. But no, nothing like that. I feel that I'm only picky about the things that, for example, speak to me. I'm a very intuitive person. I go very much with my instinct and my gut. If I like something, if I believe in something, I will go for it. And that's how I've always lived my life. And that's how I'll hopefully continue to live my life. Because you shouldn't let the industry standards or, people ever dictate what choices you make.
True.
Otherwise, you will never be able to carve your own path and be unique.
So, what were the lessons imbibed from your mother when you first started out? Was there a pressure on your head being Lillete Dubey man's daughter?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry to cut you off, but absolutely. Till yesterday, we're just about to open a new show. We're rehearsing a new play, which is based on a book by Shobha Day about the lockdown. So it's
Yeah,
called Lockdown Liaisons.
yeah.
And, we just started rehearsing for it. And yesterday we were in rehearsal, and Mum is a very hardcore, strict director. I mean, she's a very tough director. And
Okay.
so there's always a pressure with her. I mean, it's a given. But of course, the important thing is to always keep that sort of separation. When
Mhm.
she's mom, she's mom. When she's director, she's director. And I think as long as you keep that healthy balance, you'll be okay, and I'll be okay. But it's been a real ride and a real learning. I've worked with her for 15 years in several plays. I've been
Mhm.
directed by her several times. We played mother-daughter. Hopefully, in a film one day we will also. But on stage, we played it many times. And there's some very sort of complex and dark places that we've had to go to, both as actors and as people. So
Mhm.
it's been a real ride. I'm very grateful for it. I'm very lucky that I have a woman of such talent and such. I think the things that I take away most from my mother are her absolute joie de vivre, which I mean is she's a very very must soul. My mother's a very positive must woman.
Mhm.
I've never seen her get down, really really down, and
Mhm.
that's a very difficult, that's a very strong thing that I'm saying. She's a very positive person, and she's a very compassionate person. Forget the intelligence and the talent, that is a given, and the glamour. Everyone finds her very glamorous and stylish, and of
Yeah.
course I'm grateful for that also, because that's also come to me, some of it. But my father was also very stylish, I must say. So yeah, forget all those external things. I think the main thing is her compassion
Mhm.
and her positivity. These are two very, very solid things that I, on a daily basis, learn from.
So, thank you so much, Ira, for doing this with me. I had a great time chatting with you, and I really look forward to more conversations with you.
Lovely, Aditi. Thank you so much. Likewise.